Hi there. I'm going to talk about something that I do on my property every winter, and I advise all my clients to do the same. So I work for a landscape architecture, construction, and maintenance company. And for many people, they don't think you have to do anything outside in the winter. However, that's not correct. I still do some watering in the winter, and I want to talk about what I water, when I water, how I water, and the specifics around that so that you can take a look at your yard and maybe do the same. So to start with, why water in the winter? Well, in the winter, there's certain plants that can dry out quite easily, actually. And then it can hurt the long-term health of the plant and the aesthetic of the plant going into spring and summer. Specifically, evergreens and broadleaf evergreens. I have evergreens here which are yew, juniper, boxwood. I also have spruce and fir and white pine and hemlock as far as trees. I'm less concerned about trees. I'm more concerned about shrubs. So in the winter, because they have held onto their needles or their broadleaf, the leaf itself, they're still going to release some water through the stomata. The stomata are the little micropores in the plant that release gas, which is namely moisture. And they can dry out, especially if you've had a winter that does not have very much snow or very much rainfall, or they're plants that are under an eave or under an evergreen tree. So anything that is keeping that root zone from getting water. So I have certain situations that fall into that category. I have evergreens, I have broadleaf evergreens, I have some plants that are in areas that don't naturally get a lot of snowfall or rainfall. So I like to come out and assess that and look at it once or twice a winter. So you're gonna look for the time of period where there's a 4 to 5 day trend of temperatures in the upper 40s into the 50s, that kind of a thing. You don't want to go out when the ground is completely frozen because that root system is locked up solid and it's not going to uptake water. But once the ground starts to loosen up, frost starts to come out, water is going to start traveling through the plant a little bit more and it's going to uptake water. A typical small shrub that might be a 24 to 30 inch evergreen may be the equivalent of a 5-gallon bucket. If it's something that's a larger shrub that is maybe 3 to 5 feet, maybe it's equivalent of 2 5-gallon buckets. So you kind of like picture how long it takes to fill a bucket like that. When a plant starts to brown in spring, a lot of people think that, oh, the cold might be starting to kill it. That's not true. These plants are dormant, and it's not necessarily the cold, unless it's not a cold hardy plant, but it's actually desiccation. It's it drying out a little bit. Here in just a moment, I'll show you a plant that looks like it's really healthy and not drying out, and one that looks like it's starting to dry just a bit. Also, as I do my walk around to assess the plants, I'm gonna do things like overall look at the health of the garden. I'm gonna pick up sticks. I'm gonna pick up dog poo, because I have a dog. I'm gonna look at light fixtures that moved in the winter and maybe straighten them up. I'm gonna look for light fixtures that maybe have bulbs out that I can replace real quick. I'm gonna look at damage, cracked branches, snow load that might have damaged a plant. So I might prune just a little bit. And I am going to do dormant pruning, structural dormant pruning in the winter. I'm actually gonna do that, I think, this weekend. And I think I'll do a video on that to show how to properly structurally prune. So you can look out for that as well. But let's take a look at a few plants. Real quickly, I want to show this is a healthy boxwood. Now this particular one is on the north side of my house, out of the wind, and it is perfect. Does not show any winter burn whatsoever. I'm going to jump to one on the south side of the house where there is winter wind, and I'm already starting to see some desiccation. Here's another example of a boxwood. This is also green velvet boxwood. Just like the other one that I just showed, which is really dark green, this one has a little bit of an off color. I'm not sure if you can see it or not, but even in here, it's a little bit off color, and then as it comes around the front face, it is even further off, a little bit more brownish. This is that front face where a lot of the winter wind comes in and hits it. This is all you're gonna need, is bring out a flexible hose. These are much better in the winter than the regular garden hose because these stay flexible. And then a watering wand, and you're good to go. This is an area that I'm gonna soak in really well. This is a brand new boxwood here that was planted last year, so it's young, looks great right now, but I wanna keep it looking that way. The roots are only in this small little area, so it's not gonna take much water. These perennials are also new plants as well, and that hydrangea has been in for a couple of years, but as long as I'm watering this, I'm gonna water that one as well, mostly because this area does not get a lot of rainfall here. It's a small area that is surrounded in paving, so I'm just gonna hit it because why not?